Welcome to DC.
And here it comes. Swing and a miss. And a World Series Game 7 winning Curly W is in the books.
Dagger! It's 1974. The Washington Capitals are the 2018 Stanley Cup champions.
Don't like that. I like that.
You gotta like that, right?
Despite all this, despite the churn, my approval ratings keep going up.
We are ready to give our 500% support back to this franchise, back to this city, back to this team after Snyder leaves. And then this is the poo-poo you put on the field.
For the very first time, the Washington Mystics are WNBA champions.
The Washington Commanders select Jaden Daniels.
I'm going to support fake teams that can't ruin my life.
Did you call bank? I call game.
Thank you. Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business.
Oh, good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Episode number 336. Let it be said, let it be known. This is the episode that we discuss Ovi breaking the record. It's been weeks, seasons. I don't even know. Like, it's been forever. We've been talking about this. It feels like FP's rocking his Caps sweater. Andy, I'm a little disappointed you didn't bring any Caps gear because all weekend long it's been Caps, 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 Caps. And here we are Monday night, the day after Ovi does the celebratory, belly flop, which was amazing, by the way. Most excitement I have personally had watching hockey since they brought it all home. I mean, I got to be honest, I don't think there was a moment as big as that. And it was awesome. And meanwhile, of course, Matt the Med is chirping the entire time about how Ovi's not the greatest to ever do it and how Gretzky is better. And meanwhile, I have to stare at Gretzky and his crazy veneers on TV. He's just zigzagging every arena he's in. He's on the freaking screen. All of that to say, this feels like the culmination of a career. And I don't know how anybody can say really anything negative about Ovi. And this accomplishment feels a lot like Cal Ripken, setting a record that just feels completely untouchable with, consecutive games played. But Ovi did it on his own terms. He's not, they asked him if he wanted to get an open netter at home. He said, no, that's not how I'm going to get this. And FP, it comes from the left side, the left circle, right? Or whatever we call it, whatever.
Office,
that's where
baby, from the office.
The office, right? That's where basically all 600 of them have come. What was your, immediate reaction when he tied the record in DC, and then obviously when he broke it?
Tying the record in DC, you love to see it, and I love the celebration that came with it. And you're happy for Ovi, but Ovi he just does what Ovi does, right? And he was like, he shakes no to Carberry. He's like, I'm not doing it on an empty netter, and he knows kind of the importance of it, and he knows what any haters out there, Matt, could say about anything if he did get in on an empty netter, and he didn't do that. But getting to the actual breaking of the record, so much went right with it, right? Getting it from the office, like you said, Wilson being the one with the assist to get him the puck. You love that because Wilson's getting that C patch after Ovi, and it's just like a beautiful transition. And then the belly flop, the celebration, all of it. It's just, there's so much discussion about it, but really the only thing that I can think after all of the celebration was, and it's a little negative, was like, damn, I can't believe we have the all-time greatest scorer in NHL, but we only have one cup to show for it.
That's not fun. I mean,
It's not fun, but I'm going to say that because this is a team, realistically, this season where they can make a serious cup run. They can push in the playoffs. And after getting that record, if you're the team and you're rallying around Ovi and you've been focused on Ovi for really the last 10, 15 games, right? It was all get Ovi the puck, get Ovi the puck, get Ovi the puck. And you kind of shifted from how the Caps had been flirting with the President's Trophy all season long to now they can hopefully shift back to that, go into the playoffs really strong, and finish this off with Sir Stanley coming back to DC and celebrations in the Georgetown Fountain and all the debauchery that the Caps are good at doing. I mean, that's really what you want to see come out of this, the perfect ending. And then you have your perfect swan song, and Ovi flies back to the icy tundra that is Russia.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I hope he doesn't do that. Like, it's one thing now that he's got the record, and he is actively setting the record, right? We're not talking about a player who can't go out and get another 10 or 15 or 20 or 25 next season. Let's be honest, right? So I don't know if he's satisfied being one better. I mean, in my mind, he is much better than Gretzky, and I'll get Matt. You'll have your chance to chime in, I promise. But Andy, I want to go to you first. I mean, I think you were the first to point out a little bit of not disappointment, but some of the sound bites immediately. We can get back to playing, team ball, basically, right? As opposed to Ovi centric, force the puck his way. Okay, the record has now fallen, right? The hysteria around it will subside. It won't really until. I think they play at home tomorrow. I think it's
Thursday against the Canes.
Thank you. So after that, it should subside a little bit and they can get back to, finishing out the regular season, et cetera. But, I'll ask you the same thing. Now that it's here, right? What happens next, right? I mean, what do you think happens next from here?
Yeah. I mean, it takes away from.
By the way, thanks for clearing your throat in all of our ears. Thank you.
It takes away from the excitement, I guess, because it was on our minds for the entire year, and it ramped up the last month and a half, 2 months. We've mentioned it almost every single show we've done, right? So we've been tracking it, and everybody knew it was coming. I don't want to say it was underwhelming as a fan. I mean, I loved seeing it, loved watching it, but you kind of said it. He got the record, and we're like, yeah, all right, he got the record, cool. You know what I mean? It's just kind of underwhelming. He got the record, and we knew it was coming. He got it. Now what? But like FP said, now we go back, and actually Ted said it in one of his little speeches after Ovi got the game win, or not the game winner, the record. He said, we can go back to playing team ball or team hockey. It was hard for me to hear that from the owner, even though we all knew it. It was no secret. We were force feeding Ovi. We wanted him to get the record, and it was just it was hard to hear the owner say we're going to get back to playing, team hockey, back to playing our normal game without trying to force feed it. I'm curious to see what's going to happen next. I know they're slumping right now. They're not playing their best hockey. Could be due to the fact that they kept force feeding him. I trust Carberry. I want them to get back to early season hockey, the way they were dominating teams,
or even mid-season.
Yeah,
I mean,
these first period slow starts are they can't do that in the playoffs. They can't do it in the playoffs. So they need to correct that ASAP. But yeah, what's next is some people want to chase the President's Trophy. I don't really care for it. I want the Stanley Cup. And we have a strong shot this year if they get back to playing hockey the way they started the season.
Yeah, I mean they've got what I think 5 left. They're home. I'm pulling up right now. They've got the Hurricanes at home.
It's all the Metro.
It's
all teams intimately.
Yeah, Blue Jackets back to back, home and away, and then Islanders, and then they finish out at Penguins. So there's 5 left here, right? I mean they've got to find their form pretty quick. And we could talk about the team overall slumping or at least cooling. I don't think anyone can argue with that. But I want to give Matt an opportunity here. Matt, you were very vocal with your fingers as far as making sure that we all knew that Ovechkin wasn't the greatest, and that you basically were forcing everybody to kiss the Gretzky ring here. I'm curious to get your thoughts. I mean, you are a New Yorker. You've been here forever. Right. I would be. Have you officially crossed over, or have you lived longer in DC than anywhere else, or not yet?
Not yet.
All right. So the crossover is still ahead of us here, but what's your take on this? I mean, you've seen obviously the town explode over the Capitals in the past. You see the hysteria around Ovi, certainly around the show, but around the team over the last several weeks. I'm not going to say you're an outsider, but what's your take on this?
So first of all, I love Ovi setting the record. I want to be clear on that. I think Ovi is he's clearly the greatest goal scorer in the history of the NHL. I think that's fair to say. I think it's awesome that he's done it with one team, right? That is so rare in sports, right? So I think and I was saying as DC fans, he should be your GOAT. I think I was saying that, and I was very adamant about I think I get why y'all are in love with this. I think I love excellence, especially from athletes. And I think seeing somebody be excellent, be the greatest goal scorer, and the belly flop and the hoopla around it, all of that, none of that was over the top for me. I thought it was fantastic. What I was trying to convey was two things. There is a bit of Ovi's obviously much closer to the end of his career, right? Potentially the end of this year, right? Than he is to the beginning. And part of it feels I think my first sentiment was part of this feels a little bit like LeBron James in the sense that
oh my god,
no, hang on. You asked for my thoughts, right? I'm conveying my thoughts. An all-time great who gets a record because he's played enough and he's done enough I'm not, but what I'm saying is having watched a lot of hockey in my lifetime, especially in New York with the Rangers and so on, I would put about 4 guys definitively before him, right? I would have Gretzky, I'd have Messier, I have Mario Lemieux, I'd have Sidney Crosby. I'm not now. Ovechkin is. If top 5 is not saying that he's a terrible player. Okay, so guys, again, you're very invested in this. He's your guy, so I get why this is controversial.
Everyone's guy.
He's
everyone's guy.
He's everyone's guy. But my point on Gretzky is this, and I think this is. If Gretzky never scored a goal, he would still be the greatest point scorer in NHL history. He still has more points on assists alone without scoring a goal.
I can't.
No, hang on. And what I'm saying is you're the winning mentality. Also, no, the other part of it. The other part of it is the part that FP. No, you wait up, Joe. Wait up, Joe. Let me finish the thought. FP brought up a point about one cup, right? The one cup that you guys have, which again was great, broke the curse here. It was fantastic. It was fun to be a part of that. The other guys that I'm talking about have multiple cups, so that's the thing, right? Again, to put a guy in your top 5 is not to diminish his career by any stretch of the imagination. I have him amongst the all-time greats. I just don't have him as my number 1, and I don't think that should be that repulsive.
Let me add him, Joe. Let me add him. All right. I will concede that there are many great NHL all-time GOATs, whatever, across the league. But this is nothing like LeBron because
I can't believe
Gretzky. No, hold on. Where Gretzky got his.
Are we no
record,
better than ESPN?
Shut up, Joe. Come on. We can say the name, but not make it part of the discussion. You're the one giving it life. It's just a name flying by. Gretzky, his record came also at the end of his career, but NHL, as opposed to NBA, has gotten harder and harder and harder with better and better talent and more hits and better goalie keeping and better just athleticism across the board. You have real athletes coming out here now, whereas back in the day, they just weren't as athletic. They didn't have the 6'5" bruisers. They didn't have these big hits. And speaking of hits, while Ovi is the all-time greatest goal scorer right now in the NHL, don't forget he's also number 4 all-time in hits in the NHL. So to be a guy that can go out and get the goals and get all the points, and he's top of the list in power plays, top of the list in his own right in playoff scoring. I think he's second to Gretzky in playoff goals. He is also 4th all time in being a bruiser. And that's what makes Ovi so great. That's what makes him somebody that can go out there, because he's not just sitting there posted up in the office waiting for the pretty pass to slap shot it in. He's bruising people, and he changes games to the point where teams shy away from him. And that's what's allowing him to get all of these goals, right? It's his entire body of work from coming in 2004 to the entire league basically hating Ovi, right? He was this guy that came in, the excessive celebrations, the jumping on the ice, the taking the knee, the arm in the air, all of that stuff. That wasn't the NHL, right? The NHL was classier back then, and Ovi sort of brought the the celebration in, and people hated Ovi, and people said he's not going to last, and he's not going to be this guy, and it's not going to work. And he kept going against every single negative remark, and he's changing his game, right? Like he went from most of his shots being in the office, like Joe said, to this past 2 seasons, he completely shifted. He acknowledged he's older, right? The bruising hits were still there. You still saw them last year in the playoffs, but he started getting the ricochet shots and posting up right in front of the goalie to get the deflections. His game evolved, right? But when you look at Gretzky, and if you look at the guy that Joe hates, whose name we ever mentioned on this show, it was a softer kind of arc for them to get to the top. But Ovi was just climbing.
Yeah,
and still bruising.
I don't buy the longevity argument, because with LeBron and the only thing I'm going to disagree with you, FP, the NBA hasn't gotten less difficult. I think we can argue the style of play is different, and people score more because they take more threes.
If LeBron's going against the same type of defense,
the fouling, the refereeing, there's a lot of soft calls now, and it's a 3-point game. They don't bang around in the post.
It's a different game, but my point is the league overall. If you're just looking at talent, right? I mean, there was a visual. Somebody posted it in the chat, right? The average goalie that Gretzky was scoring on versus the average goalie that Ovi's been scoring on, right? The goal is the same size. The goalie is huge by comparison, just from the amount of padding and everything else. So, it's not a stretch to say it's harder to score today, given modern athletes and the size of the goalie and how much space they physically take up, not to mention the speed of the game and everything else. So the only thing I want to say is, like, LeBron is deserving of the individual accolades he has attained, and no one should take those away from him. He's played 20 years at an incredible level as a professional. Vince Carter played 20 years. He's nowhere near him statistically. Steph is going to make it to 20 years. They're going to put stats down that will be extremely hard for anyone to sniff. I'm just saying, Ovi right now, or it took him basically the same exact amount of games to get to this point. But from a time perspective, he missed an entire month. Like, this could have happened as early as end of February. Or
he also had the strike season in 2011.
Yeah, I mean, and his style of play, it was just different. Like, Gretzky didn't. Like, they just played different. I don't know how else to describe it.
But that's that's like what I value is not just the goal scoring ability. Again, your point on the bruising is right. I'm not saying Ovi's not an all-time great. I get, you guys need to, like, the context matters here, right? What I'm saying is the other 4 guys that I've mentioned were not only great goal scorers in their own right, they influenced scoring in a way that is like legendary. I mean, again, like these guys,
it's the same thing. If you put Ovi into the late 80s or 90s NHL.
But that's what I'm saying. Ovi in late 80s and 90s probably scores goals, but that's all he's going to be doing. Like, my point is the way Gretzky, like, for every goal, he's got 2 assists in his career. The guy has almost 3, right?
Okay. Does Wayne get the record if he's playing in the modern NHL? No.
Yeah.
No.
I think
does Jordan get 6 rings if you put him in the modern NBA? No, he doesn't. Sorry. He doesn't. He can't.
I think that's.
Wait.
Curry's got 4. I think Jordan.
You said if you put Jordan in,
Jordan would have more than 6 rings in the modern NBA.
He would shit all over the NBA right now. Are you kidding me?
No, he can't. He wouldn't, because there's no one play. It's him and Scotty versus the world. It doesn't work. I'm sorry.
There's no defense in the NBA right now.
There's no defense.
You can't.
Steve Kerr would be the greatest 3-point shooter.
No, sorry, Steve Kerr's not dealing. I think he's not guarding Damian Lillard. He's not even guarding Russell Westbrook.
If it's prime for prime, nobody's guarding Jordan.
I'm not saying prime. I'm saying if you take the 96 Bulls, this is the argument everybody always makes. If you take the 96 Bulls and you drop them into today's NBA, they cannot match up with. Even with the Wizards, I'm not saying they can't.
If you're gonna play this hypothetical, did they also get to build teams the way teams are being built now?
I'm saying that Jordan has the benefit of having beaten Nick Anderson 100 times out of 100, or John Starks. Like, you can't take the Bulls as constructed and say, hey, Luke Longley, go cover anybody. You can't, because he can't do it. Or Tony Kukoc. He was this revolutionary wing player. Could he cover?
He's a 3-and-D guy before they had 3-and-D guys.
Yeah, well, so was Sean Marion. Sean Marion can't play in the current NBA either. So,
but
I'm just saying.
Yeah, okay, let's just bring this back. Let's bring this back because I feel like we've gone off the rails here.
We can compare old generation to new generation.
All I'm saying is Ovi is an all-time great. He deserves the praise. He deserves the accolades of being the greatest goal scorer, right? The highest goal, but I don't think he's the greatest NHL player to ever play. That's all I'm saying. I think he's in the conversation, but I think there are 4 guys very clearly ahead of him.
The other guys, but you're blending individual accolades with team accolades, right?
But that's how I value that. I mean, I value winning at the end of the day as much as I value. But what I'm saying, individually, their accolades are better. And then also their team winning, they influenced winning better. They made the players around. Look, Ovi is great. I love watching Ovi. As a Rangers fan, I hate Ovi, right? Because to point in the office, I always knew he was going to score on. Always. He was going to beat up our forwards, right? He was like, I know what you're getting with Ovi. Ovi's fantastic. Ovi's incredible. Ovi's an all-time great. Ovi is not the greatest. That's all I'm trying to convey. I think he has a place in the conversation, but the 4 guys that I put ahead of him influenced their teams on a greater level than I think Ovi ultimately did. So and I'm just saying,
if the Caps this season go out, amazing playoff push, knock on wood, make it to the final game, Game 7, Stanley Cup championship, and you can see the narrative was Ovi put this team on his back and completely took over, from bruising hits to setting up shots to assists to him and Wilson doing their thing to the new guy coming in and getting his next baby Wilson on. Does your narrative change if he gets a cup this year?
I think the narrative around him is improved. I still again, the same guys we're talking about have long careers, great, 2,000 point scorers, right? 1,500, 18,000, 1,800 points, 2,000. These guys have influence. I mean, he's definitely in what I'm saying is he would be more in the conversation, and I would give him more consideration to be about. I would look at him and Lemieux more closely. I'd look at him and even Sidney Crosby more closely. I still have, again, Messier and Gretzky on a different level than those others.
Why is he in this conversation?
Yeah, Crosby shouldn't be on that list at all.
An outlier list.
I mean, multiple cups, and he's top 8 or 9 in assists of all time.
Yeah,
multiple has ran and laps around Crosby.
And yet the Penguins have more cups than that's a contemporary, right? I mean, they're contemporaries, and the one who is more synonymous with winning is Sidney Crosby than Alex Ovechkin. I'm not saying this to be controversial. I'm saying that based on the facts, right? If you were to ask,
you would say that he's more synonymous with winning. The Penguins have had some really good years, and they were repeat cup winners, and Crosby has them all. But if you're looking at overall record to overall record, I think they're almost pretty even when it comes to wins and losses. It's just for a long time. Listen, the Caps were really good in Ovi's prime, right? Let's call it 2010, right? When he went from an A patch to a C patch, that's when the Caps were consistently at the top of the league, right? Yeah. But those early years for Ovi, Capitals were garbage. I mean, you're almost. It would be similar to the Wizards right now, right? If you were to go get Cooper Flagg or whoever right now, and he's the guy, right? The team around him for a couple seasons is going to be hot garbage. But then all of a sudden, if he goes out he goes out and starts getting all of the wins and all the championships.
You gotta start the Alex.
I like this Wizards team right now.
All I'm saying is those early Caps games. Or Caps teams, they weren't anywhere close.
For me, I would likely look at him much more. I would have him again. I don't think he would reach the top 3, but I think he would be very, very much on the right outside of it. but again, like he's guys, sometimes I think for the sake of sports talk, right, we get crazy about my top 1 versus my top 5. The lines on there are pretty thin for the most part, right? And like you can move a guy from top 3 to top 5. I think that's okay, and I think it's not diminishing anyone's career to have somebody in your 3. We're talking 3, 5, 10 of
I just don't like
greatest thousands.
I just don't. I didn't like staring at him all weekend. He like when they asked him about like, you know, he's tied the record and he says, you know, that's okay. Like, no, it's not okay.
Yeah. He could have been like,
and the wine coolers were flowing. I understand. Be a little bit more on your toes and ready to say, you know, something gracious. You know, I don't know. It just the whole thing. It's just a lot of Wayne. A lot.
I look, at the end of the day, it was cool. I loved the belly flop too. I thought, and I actually thought, I think it's funny because I think the game where he tied the record was so much more enjoyable than the game that he won the record. I mean, it sucks to break the record on a 4-1 loss, right? Like, I mean, kind of what we're talking about.
And not at home.
Right, and not at home. But
there was a lot of Caps fans though, and I mean they
showed out. Yeah, they showed
the whole story. And kudos to the Islanders for doing a really nice job too, like stopping the game, really giving the moment its due.
I don't think they had a choice.
Yeah, they probably didn't, but it's still like they did it, right? And so that I think is but it was cool. I think it's cool for the NHL because the NHL is always going to battle for eyes, right? I think when you have somebody do something this great, right? Like scoring again, I remember growing up, the Gretzky goal number was untouchable, right? So like Ovi deserves a lot of credit for that. He did it. He's the only one who did it. He's the only one who's even come close remotely. So he deserves a lot of credit for that. The man is great. And I think he's actually a really fun personality to put in front of the casual sport fan, right? To say like, look, this is the guy who broke the record, right? And you put him against Gretzky, and there's so much there that dichotomy between the two players. It's fun, and I think the NHL could use a little bit of this, right? Like to have the cleanest cut guy, right, come and break this record. It's not Crosby who broke the record, right? It's not. I think that part is cool. Connor McDavid's coming up. Who knows? I mean, obviously he's already like he might be the next great one, but until then, Ovi should bask in this, and he deserves everything that he gets. I just don't have him in my top 3, and I think that's okay.
I actually don't mind. I don't know why you hate on Gretzky a little bit, Joe. I actually think when you compare how Gretzky handled himself going to the games, shadowing Ovi, being there at the ready for it, and like embracing the passing of the baton, when you contrast that to Eric Dickerson when Saquon was a few yards away from breaking the record and he didn't get it for the single season rushing, Eric Dickerson was like, no, I don't want him to break the record. No, I want to keep the record for forever. Yeah. That's the bad way of it. I mean,
it's the same with the Dolphins every year.
Yeah, exactly. Popping the champagne bottles. Yeah, like pass the baton on and be classy with it. I think the problem with Wayne Gretzky is he's just Botox to the T's and there's no emotion on it.
I mean, I'm being overly harsh, right? It was cool to have two greats on the basically in the same building for the last half week or whatever it is, and he probably
4 or 5 games. Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up at Capital One, you know, for some pregame ceremony or something this week as well. Like, and it's all deserving. This, I mean, I don't know who the next highest player is. I'm going to look it up here in a second, but I mean, I recently looked up Cal Ripken's record, right? I mean, the highest active player is like at 640 something.
That'll never be touched. It never will be. That's not even hyperbole. Yeah.
It's unfathomable that someone will play, you know, 2,600 games in a row. Like it's literally an entire career of never missing anything. I mean, you've only seen this a few times. We saw it with Eli, and the Giants inexplicably Dable just benched him for what? Like, there's some of these that happen kind of fluky and for no reason.
Geno Smith was the QB of our future on that week.
I think it was Daniel Jones that got the call, Matt.
No, I think it was Geno. If I remember correctly. I think he was benched for Geno Smith. Geno Smith was with the Giants for a season. People don't even remember that he was the one that
Maybe.
Yeah.
It is exciting to see, you know, okay, now that this is over, they've got 5 games left in the regular season. Andy, I'm sure you're going to watch all 5. I mean, do you want to make a prediction here down the stretch? Can they win 3 or 2? Can they win 3 out of 5? Do they need to win 4 to instill some confidence that, you know, they're going to be okay here?
I don't think they need to win any games. Obviously, they're already in the playoffs. But for their confidence and for them to kind of get back in the groove, I think they need to at least win they need to put a streak together. They need to win 2 or 3 together. I don't care what order, front end, tail end, middle, whatever. They need to string together some wins. That's really going to help their confidence. I hope they get their groove back. I hope they can start playing, quote unquote, what Ted said, team, get back to their team hockey. So I mean, I forgot what that even looks like.
They got to beat the Hurricanes. I mean,
it's going to start Thursday. If you didn't pay attention to the last time they played the Hurricanes last week, the last, what was it, like 3 or 4 minutes of period 3, I think they got charged like the most penalty minutes ever in an NHL game. It's like, turn on the game at the start on Thursday, because you were going to have another brawl. It will be immediate gloves down and fighting. And if you have LT back between the pipes, because I think he's supposed to come back, if all of that happens, you're going to see Wilson, you're going to see everybody just drop gloves and just demand retribution on the Canes. They played so good. No, but that's the thing with hockey that makes you love hockey, is that throwing down the gloves and setting that violent tone early, and then all game you're just smashing people into the boards and you become a physical bruising team. That is what makes hockey hockey, and that's what brings that team together. And then that's what kind of shakes off the rust, and you're like, okay, let's go back into Caps mode, right? And the Caps, for the longest time, primarily because of Ovi, have always been that bruising team that once the fight gets ignited in them, it's almost game over immediately. They're going to come away with that win. It's when the other teams have that fight and we're kind of still ramping up, because up until this season, we were usually the older team. You saw that difference. But Thursday is going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be amazing. And that's going to be what cuts off or kicks off the 5-game stretch against everybody that you know intimately. And that's like almost the perfect stretch
I think
of
that's
games.
why they got to win. I think
that's the perfect stretch of games. You know everything you're going to see as good as you're going to see it.
Well, let me paint something else for you guys. Obviously, the Canes game is the big one that sticks out, but you have the Blue Jackets and the Islanders are both fighting to get into the wild card, and so you're likely matching up against your first round competition there. So like, it's both a tune-up, right? It's a tune-up against your potential competition and sending a message now. And I think that's like, you kind of want to beat up on these teams, one, to impact whether they get in or not, but two, to also send the message that like, we're not soft. The first round is not going to be, we are like, if we're your worst nightmare for our first round matchup, right? I mean, the Caps can string games together in a 7-game series. They're clearly the better team, but like, hockey is one of those, like, momentum really does build up. And like, if some of these teams beat on the Caps, specifically the Blue Jackets and Islanders, if they beat on the Caps and then sneak into the playoffs as the second wild card, and then match up against the Caps, they're coming in with a bit of momentum that probably the Caps don't want them to have. And so I just think that it'd be good to send us, from a Caps perspective, it'd be good to send a message to be like, Ovi's record's done for us. We're ready. We're already in the playoff mode from now. And like, President's Trophy be damned. I don't think as somebody whose team won the President's Trophy last year, we didn't win the Stanley Cup. It doesn't matter. It tends to always be a curse. Anyway, send a message to the Blue Jackets, send a message to the Islanders, let them know that they're not going to be in for an easy series. I think that'll matter a lot.
I think the X factor here, no matter how you spin it, they need to start playing for each other again. They need to start playing as a team. It can't be one-on-one. It can't be solo hockey. They need to figure it out fast. I don't care if they get a win. I don't care if they send a message. They need to show me that they can start playing together again as a team, because it's been very force feed Ovi. Let's get goals. Like, I need to see team hockey again, and that's the only way that I'm gonna have confidence that they can make a push into the playoffs. They need to pick that back up quick. I think they can.
This is the DNA of this team, right? I mean, if anything, if you want to hang your hat on something small positive, they know they were not playing.
No,
they know
wins, right?
You're gonna have Protas come back.
Yeah,
hopefully he's healthy and ready to go. Pierre-Luc Dubois is gonna start taking his shots again. All of these guys that were kind of having their best season ever up until the
2 weeks ago,
chase got really close. Yeah, they'll ramp back up and they'll get back into it. And then the bigger thing is what's his face? Ryan Leonard, the new guy. If he gets a little bit more acclimated and he shores up whatever line he's placed on, he's a really high goal scoring threat for being a rookie, right? Like his potential, he is the next. It is his team in the future, right? Like Wilson will be your bridge. It's going to go to Ryan Leonard, and he is going to be that guy. Think of him as Oshie meets Wilson, right? Like he's this guy that if he gets comfortable in these next 5 games, he could really make a name for himself in those playoffs. And I think right now the playoff seeding is you're probably facing the Senators wild card 1 or maybe the Canadians. But like Matt said, there's a little bit of shuffling that's going to happen with the wild card push. But you have a favorable matchup going into the first round of the playoffs, and this is a team all season long they've seen how to win different games, right? Scoring early, scoring late, overtime wins, shootouts, penalty shots, whatever. Like they know how to win every form of game, and they've done it this season. That's kind of what you need to hang your hat on. So yeah, like Andy's saying, like it's been a while since we've seen that team, but this is also a team, and this is why Carbs is going to get Coach of the Year. This is a team that gets right quick, right? They turn it on quick, they'll shift gears quick, and then they'll fix the problem. That's what they've done all season.
Is that they've got to do it. Like this is where they have to. They just have to. Like this is it. And the Hurricanes being first up, I think, is a good thing, right? I mean, they haven't. It feels like they haven't beat the Hurricanes in. It feels like they haven't beat them at all season. To be very honest, just every time they're on the schedule, it just feels like we're going to lose 4-1.
They're a fast team.
Yeah,
it hurts us.
Yeah, I want to pivot into unless you guys. I want to pivot into a couple other things. One, I could probably do another hour on peak NBA. I'm surprised that you guys are so big on the 90s Bulls or the even the Olajuwon Rockets. I think those teams would get roasted in the current NBA, just the way that the league plays right now. But looking out west in particular, there was a big game that went under the radar yesterday. Lakers at OKC. That was, I mean, OKC's already clinched the number 1 overall seed out west. The LA is very much in the driver's seat for the 3rd position, but 3 through 10 are basically separated. Sorry, 3 through 9 or 8, whatever it is. All those teams are basically tied for 3rd. So with 4 or 5 games left on each of their respective schedules, there's going to be a lot of jockeying and repositioning. Lakers, Nuggets, Clippers, Warriors, Timberwolves, and Grizzlies all alive for playoff seeding. And someone's going to get left out. But all that to say, these are the teams that everybody wants to see. So, the Thunder are the story, young team built through the draft. Very much the opposite of the super team methodology, and they stunk for a while. And here in DC, FP, you said it many times, everybody should be looking at the Thunder and thinking, hey, we have all of the necessary ingredients here to bake the same cake in the Eastern Conference with the Wiz.
One different. They did trade for Shai Gilgeous. I mean, that was a trade, but that's the trade that shaped their
absolutely
team.
So, and the Wiz might have that one trade in them as well. But they are poised. I mean, again, I've been imploring everyone to watch a little bit of this Wizards team before the season ends. They're really not as far away as people think they are. I know the record says 16 wins, but they can play. And Jordan Poole, to me, I'm not a Poole guy, but he can be that guy with enough pieces around him where he basically becomes unguardable because he can do pretty much everything. But just focusing in on the West here, the Lakers, the Nuggets, I mean, the Clippers for the first time basically all season have their full complement of players, including Harden and Kawhi Leonard, who people forgot was still in the league. I mean, these guys can play. The Warriors are the Warriors. I mean, Jimmy Butler, aside from soiling himself, gives that team a lot offensively in particular. Obviously, the Timberwolves, everybody was waiting for Ant-Man to become like the guy, the face of the league. It hasn't happened. Do you guys care at all about the Western Conference? I mean, I'm watching it. I find myself drawn and being pulled in. This is the first time I've cared about the end of the regular season in the NBA in a long, long time.
So I will admit that I am. So Steph Curry is my favorite current NBA player today. I've been watching the Warriors now pretty regularly, like NBA League Pass for about 10 seasons since they've started watching the championships. Like, I love what I'm seeing in the West. I just love that it's competitive. Again, Jokic, at the end of the day, what I really think between those teams, right? I don't think anybody has a solution for Jokic, if I'm being completely honest. I think the LeBron-Luka matchup is going to be extremely crazy, hard in a 7-game series. But I think the differentiator is if Jokic has Murray and Porter Jr. there, I think they are actually the most dangerous team in the West, because what Nikola Jokic can do is unlike anything that I've seen anybody do.
Triple double.
That's my point. Like, we've never seen, like, the only reason the NBA
also hates basketball. I mean, he hates basketball.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that he hates basketball and he shows up in a dad bod and is the greatest.
He's Santana Moss, right? It's Santana being on the record saying he hates football, but because he can catch a ball and people pay him to do it, he'll keep doing it.
And I will say, as a Warriors fan, I remember, and Andrew, I gotta give you props. Like, I didn't love the Butler trade. I thought he didn't want to be there. I thought they overpaid. And you said basketball wise, it could work. And even though I wanted to believe it and I thought it could, I didn't like the guy. I didn't trust the guy, right? But Butler does bring like a winning, and he does, like, but I actually think he's being overly passive lately. A lot of the guys are playing well around them, like Pajemski and Moses Moody, but all this to say, the West is exciting. The West is where the NBA eyeballs should be. The East is boring. It'll be Boston. It'll be Cleveland. It'll likely be Boston at the end of the day. I don't trust Cleveland for some reason.
How are you not going to talk up about your team, right? They got Brunson back. The Knicks they're serious competitors.
You're sleeping on the Bucks too. Like, they're just the throw.
I'm sleeping on the Bucks because Damian Lillard has some clot. Like, in all seriousness, like, his health, I don't know. Antetokounmpo's a freak, rightfully so. I just don't think.
Whatever.
I don't think. But what I'm saying is, it's still a 2-team. Yeah, exactly. He'll be in Brooklyn, and that'll be fun too. Anyway, it's a 2-team race in the East. It's a legit 8-team race in the West. And even the Rockets showed me something against the Warriors.
I would say three-team race in the East.
Four.
In the East, it's a 2-team.
No respect on your Knicks.
I think the Knicks have a good chance. They can play with
the Knicks haven't beaten the Cavs or the Celtics this season.
He's the first lefty player I've ever seen that cannot shoot to his left.
Yeah, I know you hate Brunson. You said it all of last playoffs.
He drives me insane. Like, he's a lefty and he can't shoot on literally the left half of the court. He doesn't even attempt jump shots. It's very odd, very odd. But the Bucks to me are quietly, like, they are a matchup disaster for a couple different reasons. And if Dame is doing what he does, I mean,
but that's the problem. Dame isn't doing what he's done.
I know.
But if we fast forward, if you have a potential Cavs OKC finals, I think everybody celebrates seeing that. Everybody.
Commissioner does not celebrate.
Yeah.
No.
Adam Silver does not share your enthusiasm.
We're talking fans here.
No, they'll find the talking heads will turn it into why LeBron is still the great. Like, the NBA has a huge problem with the coverage that surrounds the NBA, because the product on the court, like, say what you want about the style, it's competitive because everyone's playing that style. Every talking head show should be talking. They should be laser locked on the 4 teams competing for 3 spots right now, right? And someone is going to finish on the outside, and it's probably the Timberwolves. And they're playing with a huge chip on their shoulder to begin with, right? But
it's actually the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies are, and it's gonna be. They've been on a slide for a while. Morant can't keep his finger.
I mean,
guns
the Grizz.
in
Everybody,
the holster.
Listen, no pun intended.
I think it's actually the Warriors struggling after you saw that last game that they had. If Steph is off, that team.
Yeah, but
the Warriors can't play.
What I'm saying. But their next 4 games are all winnable. They'll make it in. They'll make it in the tops. They'll probably win.
Yeah, but I think they're 1 out in the playoffs.
It'll be Lakers. It'll probably be if they face the Nuggets as the 4, they're out. But if they face the Lakers as the 4, they will beat the Lakers.
I mean, the Lakers are going to draw eyeballs, obviously, with an aging superstar and the young superstar. And, you know, I'm desperate for LeBron to get out of the league. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. Like, it's been 20 years of listening to how great LeBron is. And I just can't watch him. Like, I don't know how else to say this, like, without being super rude. He is unwatchable to me. Like, I hate the way he plays basketball. It's too much flopping, too much complaining. It doesn't matter if you poke him in the chest or you poke him in the chin. He's going to fall over and flop around like
the air around him. It doesn't matter.
I just can't do it. And then you watch, like, there was very little LeBron flopping during the OKC matchup yesterday afternoon. It was actually it was very enjoyable, but like the circus that surrounds LeBron all the time, it drives me insane. Every time they put a microphone in front of him, he hasn't uttered three intellectually sound sentences in a row in his entire career. It's constant, man. Like, I just can't do it. Like, there's 100 other storylines to talk about, and all we ever get is LeBron, or LeBron's kid. JJ Redick has done a great job coaching, and no one gives him any credit at all. I mean, he's taken a team that was, you know, way below 500, and they're sitting at, you know, 60. I mean, they're fine. Like, they're doing fine. But anyway, I digress. This is the first time that the West has mattered this late into a season, and it's, for anybody paying attention, I think it's refreshing. We're still, you know, I don't know. I'm not going to say it's good top to bottom. It's semi enjoyable as long as they keep the talking to a minimum. But things should get better in the playoffs, especially when the threes just dry up and you're forced to actually play some defense. That's personally what I'm excited to see. I think the West will be interesting. Obviously, the Wizards season ends in a couple weeks, and that's it. But I said this last week too. I think they've got a diamond in the rough in AJ. I mean, the dude can ball. I mean, he's getting reps that he obviously didn't get in Milwaukee. But this team has a good young nucleus, and I'm excited to see what happens here, especially if they can snag Cooper. But, you know, just to keep it on basketball, does anybody care about the NCAA? The end of March Madness? Like, this has been, well, for betting reasons, I'm sure, though. I'm sure, Andy, you're following only for betting reasons. But I don't know what they're doing starting this game so late. Like,
I mean, more important than this game is the Duke meltdown.
Yeah, I mean, to lose the way they lost is tough.
30 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
dude, that foul call was stupid. If I didn't, like, honestly, when I saw that, I was like, that ref has money on this game. Like, I hate questioning referee integrity, but that was ridiculous. I mean, it was, and look,
over the back. Are you talking about the overback?
The over the back. What was that? Come on, guys. Like, we have to be. And why is there no challenging in college basketball?
I don't know.
Why is there no?
Why does the game take so long to play? Why are there so many freaking timeouts? Why is
So
there a
many
huddle
timeouts.
after every? Why
I mean,
are they
that's
constantly in a huddle?
That's just NCAA in general, right? You can say the same thing for.
Yes, it's too
for any
much.
sport,
It's too
yeah.
much. It's too much. Even the way this game started, it was like 4 missed dunks and 15 missed 3-pointers in the first 5 minutes, and I put it on the second screen. I can't. I just can't do it. I can't do it. It's like nobody plays basketball anymore. I understand this is like there's no positions. I don't know how to verbalize my frustration with the modern basketball game, but it's tough to watch. And the college ranks, I know everybody, I mean, at the start of this, Andy was telling me, oh, you're going to see real basketball. I mean, okay, there was a little bit of it, right? But I don't know. Is this really enjoyable for anybody? Is anybody really staying up at 9 o'clock to watch this?
Yes, I'm watching it right now.
Oh.
I mean, I'm always down for competitive sports
Right.
during the driest part of the year outside of football, right? I mean, this is a very exciting time of year. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, who says
Champions
no?
League
Yeah.
tomorrow, Joe. Why aren't we talking about that?
Well, this is the wrong audience, unfortunately.
You got Arsenal, Real Madrid, and we're here talking about the Wizards and the Grizzlies.
I
Like,
mean, the
come on.
EPL is very, very, very interesting right now, right? I mean, there's a lot.
The EPL's been done, but yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, but I mean, this in particular. I mean, do you see another player on the court, Andy, right now for either of these teams challenging for the national championship that changes a franchise in the NBA?
yeah. Clayton in Florida is a legit.
Clayton,
Yeah, he's
yep.
legit. Yeah, he's legit. But and I will say, I one thing I actually have liked about college lately is I know the transfer portal is controversial for people, but you're getting a lot of 4-year and 5-year guys playing, moving, making impacts in other places. Like I thought it was cool. Like Duke made up their team with like, top recruits, but also a bunch of guys who played at other schools came and had a real impact at Duke. I thought that was unique and different to NCAA basketball. Like, and so seeing guys switch over to different programs and make an impact is something that like it's at least worth watching and see. Even what's his name, the kid from North Carolina who was playing with oh my God, Caleb Love. Right, he moved over. He's the one who knocked knocked Duke out in the Final Four a couple years ago, and then was literally playing them in the Sweet 16 or in the Elite Eight. I don't remember, for another program. So I thought that like that's cool that guys are able to prolong their college careers, play at different programs, get a chance to do something different, make an impact. That's new and different. Like when you're talking about like the sports landscape. But even that, I only pay attention in March, and I'm like, didn't that kid play in North Carolina? And now, I'm like, oh, they find out why.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
So
that's the whole thing.
That's the problem with college. Yeah,
nobody pays attention outside of March. But I mean, the whole transfer portal thing, it brought up the entire question that all the talking heads are talking about now. Is now you have somebody where if you're Cooper Flagg and you see that you could potentially end up on the Wizards, do you want to end up on the Wizards, or do you want to make another 10 mil easy by playing for Duke another season and kind of rewriting your script? Because right now you got knocked out of the tournament. You're a choke artist, right? And now there's a real chance that he takes a step back and he's like, let me do another season at Duke. Let me make another 10 mil. Do another season.
NBA money is still not.
I know NBA money is insane, right? And you want to be 1 year closer to getting yourself a supermax, which is just going to be like $360 million by the time he's up for one. But
I know in baseball you can draft players' rights even if they don't declare. Like what can't the Wizards just draft him anyway and just own his rights? Is that not allowed?
I don't think it works like
international players. I know they do that with international players, and then they send them back and let them
he's
play.
eligible. He's forfeiting his NCAA eligibility.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the compromise they need to make, right? Is the players can stay and do whatever they want, but like your rights are going to be owned by one.
No, because no NBA team's going to agree to that. Because if his ACL blows out next season playing for Duke, and the Wizards just sacrifice his pick,
you own his draft. Yeah, well, I mean, I would go for that.
No,
I think
way too high risk.
Look, I think the NBA has proven itself here. Look, if I'm Cooper Flagg, like I'll play 3 seasons in Washington.
This game is 28-31. Like, who cares about what is this? It's 28-31 in the second. Well, I was gonna say second quarter in the second half. Like, this is what is
defense?
This?
You've been wanting defense. You get defense.
This unfortunately, this isn't defense. This is neither team can score. This is a different problem. One is shooting 18% from the field, and the other one's at 24.
Yeah, I mean that missed layup.
This is I mean, they just threw the ball. Like I can't. Like you cannot convince me this is a good product. I'm sorry, you can't. You can't.
Well, somehow the new guys that are coming into the NBA are turning it in. Are turning it on. So something's working somewhere.
The last rookie class has been good, but not great. I think it was the class before that but it's the guys that are 3 to 5 years in now that are like really exciting. But like who from this class? I mean, Wembanyama aside, but didn't come through the NCAA. Who else would you put up there as like transcendent star of the last two years?
Transcendent is tough, but here in DC, people are sleeping on Alex Sarr just because he's on a 16-win team. He is a very, very, very solid.
He's a solid player. I agree. And there have been solid players.
Bob Carrington has missed 0 games this season and has grown tremendously as a shooter as well. I mean, this is there's some talent on this very. I mean, this is obviously our local team here in Washington. They're just no one is talking about them because they won 16 games. But the eyeball test, if you really watch one game and tell me that you don't see some talent on this team, because they play an interesting brand of basketball. This is like it's retro in the sense that it feels like the Suns before the whole league was 3-D. Like there's some real talent on this team, and they're just missing a few pieces.
But I will say you're not tanking for a solid player. Like you're tanking for and that's so. I mean, there may be a couple in this draft class. I think based on obviously Cooper is I think far and away. I think the kid at Auburn, Broom, I think is also like.
I think either of those guys, given that they stay healthy for the Wizards are making the playoffs next year. Like you got, I'm take a futures bet. Put it in the book of bets. This team,
like
I know
via
they're
play-in or just like solid season?
I don't care. They will make it to the NBA playoffs next year if they're as currently constructed. Plus
it's been almost 10 years since we've had Wizards like playoff
16-win team to a playoff team. That's a massive jump.
16
Joe. Massive.
to 34. They can do it. They can do it.
Although making the playoffs in the East, yeah, you have to win.
I mean, they can do it. Yeah, I'm not saying they'll win everything, but they can do it. I got one more topic. Sad. I agree, but we need it like desperately. The city needs the Wizards.
The East needs it.
Yes, I want to talk about the Nationals for just a few minutes, and then we'll get into to OMC. The Capitals, the Nationals. This time last week, I think had one win. They've managed 3 in a row, including an impressive one just tonight. I just watched it wrap against the Dodgers. I mean, they hosted the Diamondbacks and got 2 off of them, and then they beat the Dodgers tonight as well. Matt, you're here. I know Stevie isn't with us, but what's the bigger surprise to you? Take the field or the Braves starting 1-8?
No, that's definitely the most surprising story in baseball, right? Like it's the Braves. Part of it is obviously Acuna and Spencer Strider are 2 big pieces that aren't there, but they have enough talent. Like that's not enough for them to go 1-8. I think. Do I think they're out of it? I don't. I think they're that talented. No one's out of it, obviously, in a 162-game season. But interestingly, no team who's ever started 0-7 has ever made the playoffs in Major League Baseball, which I thought was an alarming sort of stat. I don't know. I think they went 1-6. So I think they're free. They're clear of that potential. But still, like when the problem isn't starting 1-8. The problem is when Philly starts 8-2, and all of a sudden, a week into the season, you're 6 games behind, right? And then you've got to catch up to the Mets who are 7-3, the Phillies who are 8-2. Like those are uphill climbs. Now those head-to-head games matter more. It's funny. The Dodgers, they started off so hot. Everybody thought like they'll never lose a game. I was probably on record being like, these guys cannot lose. The Phillies have actually looked stronger. Beating the Dodgers 2 out of 3 is quite a statement. I don't know. I think there are some really there already. I think we're going to find that there's some very clear upper echelon teams: Dodgers, Phillies, Padres. Surprisingly, I don't buy into the Giants yet. They started 7-1 or 8-1. 8-1. I see them coming back to earth a little bit. They have a great pitching staff, but I don't think they have enough. They don't have enough bats there. I think all the excitement, or a lot of the excitement, is in the National League. I think the better teams, I would even put the Mets in there. I think the Mets are showing themselves to be smart in the way that they put a pitching staff in. They haven't paid for an ace. We'll find out if that comes to bite them later. They also haven't hit much, but they've won 4 games in a row. So I think they just have semblances of a really good team.
It's hard not to put the Rangers in that mix as well.
So coming to the American League, but the American League, you got the Rangers. The Yankees are still the Yankees. You have the Red Sox. I don't think anybody will take anyone from the Central. So that's it. But I just think like a lot of eyeballs. I think the draw is in the National League, kind of like we were talking about the NBA West, right? The Western Conference. The National League is where the stars are at. The National League is where the best teams are at. I think it's going to be fun to watch those top teams go at each other. Baseball is exciting. I like what I'm seeing from the Nats. I think with a young team, you have to be patient, especially in baseball. The ruts come, but James Wood Mackenzie Gore, 9 strikeouts in his the debut game, like the opening day. There's a lot to like about this Nats team. They're a couple of veterans away from being a team nobody wants. I think the Nats are going to win more than we think. But I think they also have 3 bulldozers in there in the division in the NL East. So you just have to kind of temper expectations a little bit. But I think there's enough to be excited. I'm going Wednesday. I'm gonna see Nats Dodgers. I bought my ticket. I'm going alone. I just enjoy the. I hope the Dodgers don't sit Shohei.
What are you doing alone?
Dude, honestly, sometimes
You
it's
got to
good
go on
just
self dates. Come on, Joe.
Yeah, man. You're just like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
don't talk to anybody. Just watch the game.
Eat a
Have
couple
fun.
falafel
Like,
dogs.
Are you
Lord
there?
knows, like,
are you sitting there with the book, marking
no,
down?
no. Just watching, just watching, and like, I don't.
We can't find one
score.
friend for you to go with. We can't find one person.
Dude,
missing
there
the
are,
point.
but I didn't ask.
wants to,
Like,
yeah.
I didn't ask. I'm actually okay just going and watching the game and just taking in the game. I'm hoping they don't bench Shohei and give him a rest day before the travel day. That's a risk that I've taken with the Wednesday game, but hopefully because he's a DH, he'll get some at bats. But we'll see, man. It's like I think there's baseball. This baseball season, I think the new bats have added an element that people are talking about the game, which I love. There's some really sick young pitching like that is in there. Paul Skeens, Skubal, Crochet. Like there's a lot of really fun stories in baseball if people want to pay attention. I think there's a lot to get excited about.
It's the same to me as March Madness. I'm not going to pay attention until October or mid-September.
Yeah, I get it. It's a long season. Baseball's a lot. You really have to be invested. But I will say, kudos to MLB at Bat. It's the best sports app that's been put together in terms of like watching games, accessing out-of-market games.
know.
You can even see game day.
LP would fight you because he thinks Apple TV and MLS is the best.
But yeah, that's not ace. Yeah, I guess.
Actually, Formula One, the app on Apple TV is.
Oh my
ridiculous.
God! Formula.
Oh, actually, yeah, Formula One's fantastic. By the way, we could talk Formula One.
You're missing out on a amazingness with Formula One.
The world has sports beyond football, Joe.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, all of the drama that you love about the EPL is the same.
Nobody
in Formula
passes
One.
anybody. I can't do it.
No, you need
They're
to
racing the
you
same
need- just like
formation for hours, and everyone's on the next lap, he might pass the car in front of him. Maybe.
the same way I don't understand the EPL drama and it's boring to me. It's what's happening with you in Formula
You understand points.
One. There's points in Formula One.
There's points in Formula One too.
Dude, I know that.
The at 200 miles an hour, it's fun. It's insane
There's
to
no
watch
such
these
thing
dudes.
as boredom when they're going 200 miles.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like to see these guys take a corner.
7,000 miles an hour. So I don't know.
What?
When everybody's going 200, is it really that fast?
Yes. It's still freaking too much.
This sounds like we're going to get into the conversation about the DTC Combine over here.
I mean, that picked up steam. I'm
ready for it.
Well, okay, look. I will outbench any of you.
No.
Stevie's so excited about benching.
No.
It's a joke. Then he wants to outrace LP. I don't know who I'm going to take in a 40, to be honest. I'm not taking myself. I would not bet on myself.
Well, we have to divvy up the crew, right? There's only 3 in the small frame crew.
No,
the rest of us.
Andy got really upset that he was the control. I don't know why. I thought that was a huge compliment, but he took it very personally. Andy, you were really upset about that.
No, I'm not.
I'm not. I'm okay with it.
Dramatic zoom when he says that.
I can definitely beat anybody in a 40-yard dash.
I don't know if you could beat LP.
I don't think
I will 100% beat his lazy ass.
Steve's losing an Achilles 15 milliseconds into
Steve, he doesn't have an Achilles to run on.
Yeah, he's only got one.
Andy versus LP would be interesting.
I would crush LP.
I think between
Crush,
listen, no disrespect, 20 and Razzle. I don't find you guys as threats.
They will be cheering.
I don't find them as threats. I'm looking at you two for the big boys. I think I can shock both of you.
Yeah.
I
mean, I'm fast for a big boy. I'll tell you. Yeah. Like,
but you're not beating.
I want to race LP.
I will not race. I will not run fast.
Joe, you're not out benching.
Oh, I mean, we put 180 on the bar and just rep it.
Already there. You should be repping 225. This is combine rooms.
That's fine. I've said video do 225.
Okay.
The combine is not 225. The combine is 180. They rep 180.
I'm sure it's 225.
I'm 100% sure it's 180 because I always think to myself, why is this the measure for a professional defensive lineman if I'm sitting here repping it all day? It's 180.
Dude, I don't know the last time I've benched. Like I've lifted, but I've benched. Like that's been a long time since I've been in the gym and actually benched.
Steps in a month, Matt's gonna beat us all. Okay, because
Yeah, like
he's this dude's averaging like 12,000 plus a day at this point. He's
No, Joe, it's 225. What 180 are you talking about?
it's 180. The combine is 180.
245s on each side of the dumbbell. It's 225.
Okay.
I just Googled it. You're
I'm
wrong.
Googling right now.
Okay.
NFL
180.
combine bench press.
there's no way it's 180, Joe. That is so low.
All right, it says
for these.
225.
Yeah.
What's the record? Let's see what the record is.
28 reps.
Justin Ernest, 51 reps in 1990. I can't do 51.
51 reps is
51.
I can't do 51.
That's
I think our show should do 180.
okay.
We can also do leg press
I'm crushing you all.
and deadlift.
Also crushing you all.
Okay. See, I don't think Steve places in any of these.
No.
I mean, who's in the other category? It's him and LP and Andy.
No.
Well, I'm the control. It's fine. I'll play both
you are
sides.
All right. Any
But
more
I-
sports topics, boys? Because I want to pivot into OMC. Anybody? Matt, you were gonna say something?
no. I think I'm good.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna hit the sounder, and then we're gonna do the Saint. Actually, we're gonna get FP's thoughts on True Lies, then the Saint, and then Andy's pick of Ready Player One. Let's do the sounder. Where's my sounder?
This is the Off-Season Movie Club, rewatching the classics.
All right. Movie number 1. Actually, FP, before we do the Saint, we need your ranking on True Lies. Do we need a recap last week, or did you listen to OMC to hear Andy and I's scores? I think, Andy, you came in at a 4.
For True Lies, I gave it a
True
4.
Lies? Yeah, and I came in at a 4.5 because or was it a 4?
You were at a 4.
Okay, we both came in at a 4. FP, where do you put True Lies?
I'm giving it a 3.5.
Okay.
It's just highly entertaining movie. I will not take away from that. I loved the dialogue of the terrorist.
Aziz.
It was just spot on, perfect Hollywood Arabic. It was just fantastic. It lost me at the end. It should have ended before the fighter jet scene. Asking to borrow a fighter jet scene and then shooting out specifically one floor in a skyrise is ridiculous. And then having your daughter suddenly be able to support her weight on a crane and hold on while she's on.
Oh, look at this guy poo-pooing the movie.
I mean, if you ended after the limo and the bridge, solid movie, great movie. You took it one scene too far, and that's what lost me. Also, it was weird seeing Jamie Lee Curtis dance. She's mom. Like she's a mom. She's the mom in like Freaky Friday.
It was 30 years ago.
It doesn't matter. She still had grandma face with not grandma body. It's weird.
Okay.
It was.
This movie was highly entertaining. I loved
Very
it. You couldn't
entertaining.
look away. You couldn't look away.
Very entertaining movie. But
The guy was chasing a motorcycle on a horse through a mall. Like
what elevator fits a
Right.
horse that can also turn around in it with people in there? It's just, I love it. I love it for what it is, right? But am I gonna watch it again? No.
You always have to take a movie for when it came out too. Like half the stuff that they did in that movie couldn't get like through the critics today, and it would be culturally insensitive and all the rest of that. So for that alone, the movie is
Those are the best parts of the movie.
to just see like what you could do and what would actually constitute as
Uzi
Arabic
falling down the steps and it wipes out 15 terrorists.
Like,
come on.
So you have to love that, like, and you have to remember the like when it came out, like Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis, like all of that, like going back and remembering how awesome that movie was when it came out. Today, yeah, it doesn't hold up, but what holds up is sort of the nostalgia around it, right? Like the idea of like, so I mean, yeah, for me, it's probably like right around 5.5, just because like the movie.
1 to 5. 1 to 5 is.
1 to 5. Oh, sorry, my fault.
Bring it to 3.5, man.
3.5. Yeah, 3.5 is where I'm at. Then in that case, good movie, fun, like fun. I love
Very fun movie.
like I love stereotypical movies. I think it's okay. It's okay to laugh at other like I think the stereotypes are great. I'm here for that. I think the fighter jets and the Jamie Lee Curtis Schwartz, all that was spot on and the time it came out, and it's not bad to go back to from time to time.
The one thing that I couldn't get out of my mind the entire movie, I would love a pristine GMC Jimmy to drive around. I forgot how much I love that SUV. That's a fantastic SUV.
Classic S10s. You're right. I mean,
fantastic.
I love Tom Arnold so much.
Yes.
In that role in that movie. I said it last week on the show. I won't go into it again, but his nonstop jibber jabber the entire movie. It's like the director walked over to him and said, anytime the camera 2 minutes before we start rolling, just start talking. He's always talking. Always.
It's kind of like the OG version of this Kevin Hart Rock or Ryan Reynolds Rock pair up, where you had Tom Arnold just going with Arnold, who's just one line, slow talking.
Yes.
Prime Arnold he was just a monster.
And actually, I think that role was one of the reasons why, like, if you remember, there's a sports show that he was like a sports talk show that Tom Arnold was a part of.
Just
like
sports show, period.
Yeah, was it? That's right. Like, I think he was a part of that. Like, I think it was kind of like he had a few roles after True Lies too that led up to that. But I think it was True Lies that really was kind of like, oh, this guy's actually entertaining and fun.
Yeah.
I think
he was joking on the set during that movie that he was going to run for governor of California. I mean, that was like a well-known thing. Obviously, Arnold becomes governor. So, all right. So let's put that one away. Let's pivot into 1997's The Saint. We said we were going to do a Val Kilmer tribute film, given that he passed away at the age of 65 last year. We talked about some of his, more iconic roles, but this movie tends to be synonymous with him whenever people say, like, this is one of the few that he actually carried into the late 90s on his own. 1997, it received a 6.2 out of 10 from critics, 30% on the tomato meter, so not super popular with fans. General synopsis here, obviously the movie's based on a spy series. Suave international thief Simon Templar, played by Val Kilmer, contracted by Russian oil magnate Ivan Tretiak to steal a formula for cold fusion. Templar is nicknamed the Saint because of the use of Roman Catholic saints as his different aliases. Finds the formula from scientist Dr. Emma Russell, played by the super, super attractive Elizabeth Shue. Seduces her, steals the information, but the formula is incomplete. Tretiak now wants to kill Templar, ends up selling it to his rival, who then she makes it work, et cetera, and that's how it goes. What's interesting to me about this movie, and I'm going to just jump into a couple things here. Val Kilmer is never, he's never believable to me as an action star. I don't know how else to say that without being like super rude. He, like, the character, the Saint, like the backstory there in the very beginning with the orphanage. I understand what they were trying to do. It was fine, right? But there's no connection between what happened in the orphanage and like why he became a spy. It just says that, he had an affinity maybe or for authority, and the name, like, okay, it's very loose. I hadn't seen this movie probably for 10 plus years until I sat down to rewatch it for OMC this week. The two things that just completely leapt off the screen. Elizabeth Shue is gorgeous. She's very, like, she's scripted well, but she's just classically very beautiful. And I think the movie does a very good job of portraying that and showing that off. The other thing, and I know this is going to be a weird little bit here. It's a very small cast of characters in this movie. There's not it's not a lot of world building whatsoever. In the very first frames, you meet Ivan Tretiak and his son. Like, the whole thing is set up in about 5 minutes, literally in the opening scene. And maybe the most enjoyable entire exchange is when Val Kilmer's character, or the assistant, he's pretending to be the assistant to himself, basically meets with the Russian oligarchs, basically to take the job in the train station. And the son's like, Dad, he's the one that stole the chip or whatever it was. Throwaway scene, doesn't really move the plot forward at all, but just it's very thin. It's very thin from start to finish. And one last thing, FP, and I'll get your thoughts on this too. A couple weeks ago when we did The Professional, I remember Andy and I both saying it was like a silent film. Like there was no music in The Professional. This movie's the exact opposite. Every 10 seconds, there's disco EMD music playing, and it's non-stop. Every time they get in the car, and then he gets out of the car, and it's a different techno beat. And then he's climbing a building, it's another techno beat. It's constant. I mean,
there's actually the first love scene. They had like Sade playing over the romantic score of the whole scene. I noticed that too. I was like, why are they
so much music? And it's terrible. It's terrible. What was your feel with this one?
I'm gonna separate the movie into two categories, right? Watching it for Val Kilmer, I think this was the perfect movie to watch because you saw the range of Val Kilmer, right? Like from the costume design for every single time he was a different character, to his accents, to how he kept portraying himself, to the goofy professor guy and the teeth, and then the suave artist. It's just his acting chops were really on display there. And I don't think a lot of people recognize, like, think about all of today's A-list actors. I can't think of many that could go into a movie where it's just character after character after character after character, and you're just constantly changing your inflection and your accent and everything about yourself literally from scene to scene. And I think it's, for somebody that passed away in throat cancer, and like the respect that was shown to him, like in Top Gun 2, and like having him type it out, like he really, that struggle, like comparing that to what he's doing in The Saint, where like really it's his voice and like his character acting. It's perfect time for my voice to crack, but like the character acting is what made that movie. And on the flip side of that, the plot was terrible. It was ass. It was a terrible movie.
Really thin.
Really very thin. Made no sense. I don't like, he was like the Flash. Like he was reading the letter in the apartment, and then the next thing you know, he's in the town square. I just, all of it made no sense.
Well, he also seduces Elizabeth Shue, who's the scientist, and steals her stuff. But the next scene, she loves him, so she's okay with it.
Yeah.
And the next scene, he needs her to like finish the formula, which takes her like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
so,
like if she could have solved it in just 2 hours, why didn't she finish it a week and a half ago when she's looking at it on the table? None of the plot is terrible, but it's the perfect movie to like sort of pay your respect to Val Kilmer, or like remember him, because he is that movie, and it's really good acting chops. Like you forget kind of that goofiness that you get, even though you see a little bit of it in like Batman and stuff, but like you forget that he has sort of that range to him.
Oh yeah, I mean the Ghost in the Darkness is that is a real chops showing off flick from the dramatic side. Matt, had you seen this movie, Matt, before? Is it one you remember, Andy? Let's go Matt first.
Yeah, I'd seen it a while ago. I don't remember. Like, as you guys are describing it, I do remember the movie. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't memorable then. I would have had to revisit it. That's the problem. It's like, it's definitely one you watch and you're like, oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's how I feel about it as you guys are talking about it. But yeah, I'll get on the next one.
It feels like a movie you would know for like trivia purposes, not
it's a great trivia night movie,
right? Or because you love Val Kilmer, right? Which I think is true. Sure. Like I think that part is like, but because he's synonymous with the movie for sure. Like when you say the Saint Val Kilmer, I know what movie you're talking about. I've seen it, but it's not memorable enough to like even like want to rewatch. I think is the problem. Yeah.
We also had Volvo insisting on becoming a sports car brand in this with the C70, which was short-lived in and of its own self. But it was also interesting. I was reading up about this. The voice you hear on the radio in all the car scenes is actually Roger Moore, and it was at the insistence of Val Kilmer that they get Roger Moore specifically to do the voiceovers for all of the car scenes. It was I didn't like. There's no good explanation as to why, but he insisted that Roger Moore be the voice actor for that. I just found it interesting that a spy movie and it's the
He
one
is
time
007,
voice
right?
007,
So,
right,
yeah.
voicing it.
Yeah.
Andy, any thoughts on this one?
No, I didn't actually watch this one, but based off of what you guys are saying right now, I don't plan on watching it either.
I think where the ratings are going to fall on this one.
Were there any like pop culture, like did anything?
No,
like when
this
we
is
watch
the
these
most.
movies,
There's
guys are
nothing. There is
no
nothing
pop
here.
culture references, nothing.
You see
I'm
a
not watching
couple. This is way before. I mean, this is a solid 10 years before iPhone and any meaningful electronics. He's basically got like a mobile server with a green screen that he's doing all of his exchanges on. It's a message board. Like I guess some of that at the time would have been interesting, right? They go back and forth. The Val Kilmer's character and Tretiak are exchanging messages via a message board, and I forget what their names were. FP was Spider or something, and he was like, "Tell Spider this
What
and that."
the hell is a message board?
Yeah, exactly. It was a message.
Come on, you're not that old to forget message boards and chat rooms.
Also, also the money that they're discussing, like it's like a $1 million job. Like, are you getting out of bed for $1 million?
So Roger Moore,
little pin board thingies. Gotcha.
No, but
also wasn't the thing at the middle of the country like some serum or some formula or some magical some magical fusion? Oh yeah.
The cold fusion technology for me. Roger Moore actually played the main character in the TV series The Saint.
Yes,
the 70s.
There you go.
Maybe that was maybe that's right.
That's gotta be the.
I mean, the concept wasn't terrible, I suppose, and like when he's first seducing Elizabeth Shue's character in the film FP, like where he's playing like a drunk artist or whatever, and he forgets the sketchbook. It just, I don't know. There's parts of this movie that felt like they were minutes long, and then other parts I was like, this is taking way too long. Right. And then bad guy convinces the semi-bad guy to take credit for the formula, but then the scientist is like this babbling scientist, like somehow becomes pivotal to the entire thing and makes it all work. It's too
plot much. The plot was terrible. It's just when movies when I'm watching movies like that, my brain always goes to Hollywood's not original, so my brain is like, when this gets remade, how will they execute it, and will it be better or worse, right? And I'm thinking from a text spot of it and the plot, I think they can make that way better. But again, like I'm saying, I don't know what actor you can have kind of fill all these different shades of a character and be elusive, and I don't know how you can remake the movie.
What are you scoring this one, FP?
It's probably a 2, maybe a 1.5 even.
Yeesh. 1.5 is you're getting into I'm not going to finish it territory.
I don't know if I would want to finish it if it ever came on again.
I think I'm going 2. I think there's enough here that if you've never seen it and you've literally watched everything else, you probably should watch it. Or if you're in a Val Kilmer mood,
I think it's the reason why we watched it, right?
Yeah. This one would be if we just pick this, I think at random without the context of Val Kilmer having just passed, I think we're all scoring this at either a 1.5.
Yeah.
It really isn't much better than that. And I think you're right. Even now, as I'm talking, it's probably a 1.5. I don't think I'm putting.
I think it's 1 point. I think it's a 1.5 just because I want to create more separation from the other movies we've ranked.
Yeah, it's going to negatively
close to them.
Yeah, as unenjoyable as this movie was, I don't know. I was gonna take a shot at Andy with.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. They're different. They're different genres of film. This is not a good movie. If we did a bad movies only, this would probably in the mix along with Hard Target, which I'm a sucker for that movie, that Van Damme movie, but it is universally considered his worst film. This one, yeah, it's a 1.5. I don't think it's much better than that.
Can I just make an observation? I think the lead-in says that we're revisiting the classics, and I don't know how The Saint and the classics ended up anywhere near the same.
I told you, Joe.
You've got different sounders.
Classic
doesn't mean it's always good. It just means it's
old.
it could be old. I mean, we're about to talk about Ready Player One here in a second. That's definitely not a classic.
That's not a classic either. Yeah.
It's not old. Well, we'll talk about it here in a second. But we've got the second sounder about just get your popcorn or whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Everything will be fine, right?
The point here is DVD bin.
As we pick movies, the idea is, can you find something? I mean, FP, you hadn't seen this, right?
I think I saw a long time ago, like when it first came out, and it was on one of the streaming platforms. And I think I had the same thought the first time I watched it to the second time I watched it, just literally hours before this show.
Yeah, I mean, I will. If I never see this again, my life will be complete. It's okay. Like this isn't.
I'll say this. I'm shocked there's a Spielberg movie.
Yeah. The whole thing it just feels odd. The whole thing, like they're hiding in an elevator shaft somehow, but not getting crushed by an elevator, and he's shivering, and then he's running. It's too much. It's too much. So this is a do not recommend from the OMC. I want to pivot into the other movie, which was Andy's actual pick for the week, which is Ready Player One. This one, 7.4 from the critics, 71% on the tomato meter. So overall, fans did like this one, generally speaking.
God, by the tone of your voice, here we go again.
This general synopsis: 2045, the planet is on the brink of chaos and collapse, but people find salvation in the Oasis, an expansive virtual reality universe created by the eccentric James Halliday. When Halliday dies, he promises his immense fortune to the person who discovers a digital Easter egg that's hidden somewhere in the Oasis. When young Wade Watts joins the contest, he finds himself becoming an unlikely hero in a reality-bending treasure hunt through a fantastical world of mystery, discovery, and danger. This is 2018. This is a cast of characters that you may only know one or two of them. Ben Mendelsohn is in this, and he's got some notoriety. And then Simon Pegg. Simon Pegg is notably from all of the Mission Impossible movies. Like when you see him, you know his face. Andy, I'm gonna go to you first here. Like, without giving the rating, what do you think of this film?
So I think last week when I picked the movie, I kind of caveated by saying this isn't, the kind of movie that I would normally pick. It's not
Good.
My kind of movie, but I thought it would be a great movie for us to review in OMC because of everybody's backgrounds, everybody's different tastes, the era that we grew up in and whatever really comes to that. But I thought that was what made this movie so relatable, is that you could watch it from any era and be like, oh my gosh, look at that. I remember that, right? Like, it was very cool to watch. The story behind it, although it's pretty sci-fi and kind of futuristic, like it's not far-fetched to think that this could be life in 50 years, right? Like when Idiocracy came out, right? Like what were those ding-dongs in jail wearing? Like Crocs. And now what's everybody wearing? Crocs. I know it's not the same level of metaphor there, but what I'm trying to say is like it's not far-fetched. It's a cool storyline. It's sci-fi-ish. It's somewhat relatable, and I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was a good story. Kind of like what's that dude's name? Bruce Willis, or the National Treasure, or whatever the heck the movie is. Treasure Map. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like you got a mission that you got to go, and you got a group of people.
Are you doing a bit right now?
I'm not doing a bit. What is wrong with you guys?
What?
You guys have no taste in movies.
Are you? Wait, I forgot the word. Did you say realistic or relatable?
I don't remember. I didn't say realistic. The movie is
not far-fetched. Sorry, you said not far-fetched.
Yeah, it's not far-fetched to think that this could be life in 50, 75 years. Like, what's wrong with that?
But then you also went on to say National Treasures.
No, like the whole idea of National Treasure being it, like you're on a mission. Okay, you guys are ding-dongs. Nobody understands movies. I'm going to drop out of OMC. You guys are pissing me off. Giving Usual Suspects a 2 and then giving The Saint a 1.5. You guys are insane.
We both acknowledged that we wanted to separate a truly exceptionally bad movie in The Saint from a regular bad movie in The Usual Suspects. I think we were pretty clear about
Again, I'll say it again. Me and literally the rest of the world think this is a good movie. Let me hear what you guys think.
This one, Ready Player
Yes.
One.
Wait, I was
Yes.
about to back you on Usual Suspects, but I have no interest in seeing Ready Player One.
That's
I had
fine,
no
Joe.
interest
What's
in
the
seeing it.
tomatoes points?
There's no
What's
connection.
the tomato
Like
points, Joe?
7 something, 70.
Hold on, Matt. What's your thought on Usual Suspects?
I love Usual Suspects. I thought Usual Suspects was one of the greatest films, and again, in the time that it was made.
Where's
No, absolutely.
Redemption rank, Matt?
Matt should be the
Shawshank
voice
Redemption
of
is also one of the greatest movies that has ever been. Guys, you have to remember what you have to take the context of the time the movie was made.
Anytime somebody tells me I have to remember something, I automatically fall to your qualifying
my point,
this.
dude.
You're
Usual
making
Suspects holds up. Kevin Spacey in that movie is incredible.
Tell them, Matt. Tell them.
Kaiser Sose is still spoken about. Like, you don't have to say anything.
Yes,
you
we
say
know.
Kaiser Sose, dude. Usual
FP,
Suspects.
did they convince you, FP?
Usual Suspects and Shawshank both. You guys,
I
if
don't
you
know.
guys scored those low, shame on you. Shame on
I
you.
don't
Tell
know
them,
what,
Matt.
what movie.
Thank
am
you,
I-
Matt.
What movie?
But
am
Ready
I-
Player One, I don't think I could get behind. But the
FP,
other
did you
two,
watch Ready Player One?
There's like 15 minutes left on my TV downstairs.
I'm gonna do you a huge favor. Ready? Don't finish it. What dream a better ending for yourself, because
Listen,
life is too short.
I was watching the movie and I can understand everything for the most part that Andy's saying. I don't find it relatable at all.
I mean, there's some relatability, right? Like the idea of, like, we play Fortnite with some regularity. The idea that your character can accumulate, like, I found myself at times. Okay, let me give you some positive things here. Sorry, FB, I don't mean to step on
No,
you.
go for it.
This is one of the maybe worst Steven Spielberg movies ever. Like, I'm actually surprised his name is attached.
I
to
thought you
this.
said you were going to give some
You just said the
positives, and then
state.
you start out.
But he did something with this that I think at least made it enjoyable. 2/3 of the movie were enjoyable. Okay, I'll tell you where it lost me, Andy. The
That
second
it was a good movie and it
the
finished
second
strong.
that Wade said his name in the game,
Yeah.
and it was like this big thing, and I like, you feel the gravity of it. Part of the interesting the intricacy of this oasis, right? This idea that everyone on the whole planet is whoever they want to be in the oasis. Then he utters his one seemingly significant to the what's her face, the Olivia Cook character, whatever her name is. She's like, you can't do that, whatever. They set up for an hour and a half that he lives in the stacks in Ohio. He's the mundane life. It's a throwaway life. He's just one of a billion people in Ohio, whatever. The second he says his name, the other 4 pivotal characters are all in Ohio. Like, the whole planet is playing the game, but everyone is
so
in
what if they
Ohio.
are? Yeah.
And the bad guy's primary
Why is that
residence
the reason that this
also
movie
in
sucks?
Ohio.
Yeah, so what?
Because it actually takes away from the film. The idea is that there could be, like, I'm not the director here, okay? But if I'm
Right,
directing,
but they
this
could
piece
also
of crap,
all be from Ohio too.
No, the probability of the 4 people solving the mystery and the bad guy all being in the same 5-mile
what?
circle is not possible.
How is that? How is that what's pissing
underselling
you off
the
about this
premise.
movie?
It could have been so much cooler to have, like,
It's in the water, bro.
Oasis,
It's in the Ohio.
The whole
fake
movie
world
is cool. I'm not saying it's a life-changing
I'm saying
movie.
it's a missed opportunity here, because
Absolutely not.
You could have had them zigzagging the planet, looking for
This-
each other.
look,
Why is the
no.
Asian kid just in Ohio all
It
of? Why is
doesn't
there an
matter.
11-year-old in
That's
Ohio?
such a tiny little detail of the movie.
And that's the
This is
problem.
Columbus
not
is a very
life-changing
cosmopolitan
movie.
city.
This is just a very entertaining movie to watch.
I completely disagree. I completely disagree.
I'm dropping out. I'm done. I'm out of
Listen,
OMC.
the
I
only
can't do this.
thing, the only thing that I questioned throughout the entire movie
I can't do this.
is I play video games. We all play video games. I have my Xbox hardwired in to my 2 gigabit speed router right now, and my connection still sucks. So how is this poor kid in the back of a rinky-dink box trailer have high-speed internet able to sit on and play this?
I mean, I wasn't going there with this.
I'm just
I'm
saying,
okay
like-
with that piece of. You're very literally upset with the movie at this
No,
point.
it was just like, I was just like, listen, okay. I understand that, like, Apple has the Vision Pro, and that's where we're going with, like, this could be 50 years down the road. Everyone abandons reality because everyone's currently abandoning reality because they're crazy as is right now. So I get that part of the relatability of it, right? You put on your mask, you go into La La virtual land, and you do whatever you want. Aside from that, the nostalgia part of it, that part was cool. The Shining part, the good music, referencing Atari, like all of the nostalgia part of it, that part was interesting because you're like, oh yeah, that's cool. And that's what Andy's saying, that like any generation could watch the movie and like pick up on something and be like, oh yeah, Duran. Oh yeah, my Atari. Oh yeah, whatever. Like that's cool. But also
Back to the Future, the Zemeckis cube. There's a lot of stuff in here there's a lot to like. The movie looks awesome. The graphics look great. The music, the soundtrack, excellent. But the plot goes from being well laid out. This idea of the curator and
rushed.
Very rushed. Like they've been playing for 3 years since the guy died, and no one has any keys. And then in the span of 2 hours, 3 movie days, they solved the whole thing just because they decided to go to the library and ask the curator for a bunch of stuff, who's clearly trying to help them. And like, it's not.
Let me remind you of the horse chasing the motorcycle in Georgetown Mall, guys, and a fighter jet shooting a missile through a building, hitting the terrorists who are in a helicopter who happen to be right there.
Bro,
fair point.
Like, what are we doing right now? We are dissecting this movie for realism when it's clearly a sci-fi film.
Okay, but it's still allowed to be rushed, right? It's rushed. It's rushed.
A movie, and it was 3 hours long. What do you mean?
Oh, believe me, I'm well aware. There was many pee breaks during this one. Yes,
you guys are very quickly losing any credibility as movie critics if you don't change your act up. I don't know what bit you two are playing right now. But change your act up. This is not a good.
I feel like this
just
board. Proves that the neckbeards that take time out of their day to go on Rotten Tomatoes and rank movies are the same neckbeards that want this reality to be real, like want that to be their reality. And
honestly, I don't know where we're disconnected on this one, Andy, because like I said, the visuals are great and Spielberg does a fine job with it. I love the Zemeckis cube idea. There's enough stuff in here to keep you interested from start all the way to finish. I'm just saying they take what is a well thought of, like, and laid out 45 minutes, kind of laying all of this out, and it is eviscerated completely in the span of about 10 minutes. And it basically, like, you get the second half of the movie is
the epic fight scene doesn't need to be this big. It needs to be
and even then, like they're fighting, like there's parts of this that work, right? The chick is in the base in the real world fighting against the guy who's in the real world while they're also fighting in the Oasis. Like, some of this is good, but like the insistence on co-locating everybody, and then of course, like the DEI placement of the main characters, like it is a product. It is very much a product of this movie. I don't know how much you know about this, but they reshot parts of this, like, in total when they were making this movie. It was set to come out in 2016. They pushed it to 2018. So this is before, like, the shutdown and everything else. It's fine. It's very long, and again, the to take this big Oasis concept and then shove it all into Columbus, Ohio, or whatever, like, it didn't need to happen. Like, it didn't advance the story at all that they were all co-located. That's my point.
I think
so I'm gonna back Andy on a couple points here. Yeah. Back Andy on a couple points here. Number one, his point around idiocracy. His point around idiocracy being completely relevant today is actually frightening and on the nose, right? And so, like, if he thinks this is a potential for us 50 years down the line, we should pay attention. No. Number two, I think dinging the movie on realism, or, like, again, when we just called True Lies, like, you know, like, his point there is also valid. Like, one is more sci-fi than the other, being this one. So, like, if everything ends up, I mean, like, budgets are limited. They couldn't fly around the world, so they kept it in Ohio. I mean, that's just how the story plays out.
Like, I'm sorry if that pisses you off. I haven't seen the movie that they're all in Ohio.
I haven't seen the movie. I'm intrigued to watch it now, so I think Andy, you should at least score it a 2.
it undersells the importance of the Oasis if the 5 pivotal characters who decide that they're going to solve this thing after 3 years in 2 days all happen to be 3 miles apart. Like that really shrinks the universe,
I think
doesn't it?
it was a necessary detail of the movie to progress the movie. How can you navigate them all living in different parts of the world, meeting up with
he
each
had
other?
to fall in love with the chick who happens to be next door to him in the Resistance
Yeah,
fort,
why?
which
It's
was next to him
entertaining.
the whole time.
It's a
and he didn't
great
know
I would have
movie to
preferred
watch.
if the chick was actually like a fat guy in the basement named Chuck or whatever the line is. I thought that would have been a fantastic wrinkle. That would have shot the movie up.
Of course,
Would have made the movie
big-
1 rating up.
Oh my god. Okay, what's your rating on this? I can't listen to you.
I thought it was a solid movie. It was entertaining. There
Be
was
careful here because I will judge you forever based on this.
There was if this movie came on TV and I was just sitting there flipping,
It'll
through the
never come on
channels,
TV because
I
it's 2
would
days
stop.
long.
I would stop and I would watch the movie again. I thought it was
That's the
extremely
ranking,
entertaining. I didn't see anything that would make me this upset as them all living in Ohio together or whatever else you called out. Like, who cares? It was a good movie. This movie is a solid 3.5 for me. It is a good movie. It's 3.5.
Okay. FP, do you have a ranking on this one? I mean, 3.5 is at least it's reasonable.
I will give this movie 2.5.
No,
I think we need. Listen,
I'm leaving the studio.
Andy, hold on. If the goal did he drop? If the
I'm gonna
goal,
get back in here. We got to pick our new movie.
If the goal of the off-season movie club is to revisit all of the movies across all genres, I feel like we need to be a little bit more respectful of our ranking. It's just like you can't tell me like if he's gonna put one of his all-time favorite movies in Usual Suspects at a 4, then you can't put Ready Player One at 3.5. That's not respect to the.
I think that's fair.
Andy's quitting everything.
He's rage quitting right now. He's rage quitting. I listen. I'm not Matt. I don't know if you want. You probably shouldn't rank it because you haven't seen it.
I'm not ranking. No,
this is a 2. The movie's a 2. There's no way to get out of this. If it's on TV, first of all, it'll never be on TV because it's way too long and it's too bright and it's not very good. Is it something you need to see? No. Are you missing something by not seeing it? Maybe. There's a lot of pop culture references, and I'm a sucker for that personally. So in that regard, it was fine, right? It all takes place in this digital Oasis land, and the graphics are cool. The music is great. But like, this is not a appointment movie by any means. If you happen to see it, fine, whatever. But it is a flimsy. The whole thing is flimsy. In the end, they are trying to solve a riddle. There's 3 parts to it. There's real world money theoretically involved. The bad guy is not menacing. He's not scary. Like it's just not very good. It's a 2, and I'm being generous. It was the better of the 2 movies that we watched this week, but I would never revisit this. I would, like, knowing what I know now, I would never. If I started this movie fresh, I'm telling everybody right now, when you feel that you've had enough, just turn it off because it does not get any better. The second half, the balance, there's no payoff for the characters. It's just not very good. So
we just need to. I think we need to recalibrate off-season movie club.
That's if we even have it, because one of the founding members just rage quit. He's very upset.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but you're up, FP. Do you have a movie for us for this week?
I feel like we need a really solid, well-liked movie that's underplayed.
Matt, do you have any suggestions?
I don't know what's been done, but have you guys done Boondock Saints yet?
We've all seen it. The rule is we gotta come up with something that most of us have not seen.
Okay, I haven't seen.
That's the goal here. I threw out Hard Target, but nobody. I mean, it's not my turn anyway. It's FP's turn. If you're not ready, FP, we don't have to put you on the spot.
Have you seen Baby Driver?
Baby Driver. I haven't seen Baby Driver or Taxi Driver. Both were mentioned recently.
It's another Kevin Spacey movie, though. I don't know if we want that.
Yeah,
I'm fine with anything. You want to take a day and then let us know?
Yeah, let's let me marinate on it a little bit. I need to make sure that the next OMC is must listen.
I'm just saying. I know Andy's upset right now, but
we'll talk him off. We'll talk him off the edge.
Guys want to
Some
see
of us-
Conclave?
Conclave?
Recent movie from last year's Oscar nominees, and basically not giving anything away here, but the patriarch passes away, and it's all about the Pope.
I
of the
actually
Catholic
saw
Church
the trailer.
passes
for that.
away. Yeah, Pope passes away, and it's all about sort of the election of the next Pope. It's interesting.
I'm not opposed to anything as long as I haven't seen it. That was the one thing I enjoyed this week is Andy did put me onto a movie, as terrible as it was, Ready Player One. I hadn't seen it, right? I mean, it's just it's something I hadn't seen, and now I can say I've seen it. I know he's not happy with me, but that's the truth. So, FP, you're on the clock. Give us something to watch for the week. Matt, if you want to throw something in there that we haven't seen, feel free to add it in. I think 1 is a safe bet, 2 is a little bit tough, but we'll see. We'll do our best. Any final thoughts, boys, on Ready Player One or The Saint? FP, you good?
They would be in the $5 bins at Blockbuster or Walmart.
Maybe.
$2.99 bin.
I mean, these would sit on the shelf at Goodwill for a long time. Matt, any final thoughts?
Championship game looks close. I'm sure Andy's enjoying that. Let's see.
I know,
how
he's
it
pretty
ends.
He's mad. He's mad we didn't discuss it.
He's really
he's mad. We'll get him back.
We should talk about it now.
He's still rage texting right now in the group chat. It's I just see the notifications coming on.
What do you guys think about the national championship?
I do not.
Tied game now. Tied game.
Yeah, tied game.
3 minutes left, Joe. You can do it.
I will. It's on behind me. I will. As I'm cleaning up the audio on this one, I'll get.
I don't know what's more telling, that I have 4 baseball games that I don't care about on the screen, or that's like. So,
I mean, there's a couple minutes left.
Joe, if you get into Formula One, I'll get into EPL.
So I'm into both. So I'm happy to be the
go.
bridge to both.
Send me a reminder or something when something interesting's happening.
Have you watched Drive to Survive? Actually,
Yeah,
that honestly,
Netflix thing, right?
that's the
best way to get
docuseries
into it.
on it. Yeah,
it's gripping. The first couple seasons, especially.
that's where
Watch
you
the
learn all the main racers and fall in love with the drama and the storylines.
Yeah, and just the business of Joe. I think the business of sports, especially the business of Formula One, is sometimes even more thrilling than like the product of Formula
Mildly interested now. Okay,
I'm telling you, you'll
I
enjoy
will
it.
try. I will try.
You're gonna be. Oh God, I can't. Mark,
Dude,
this
it's
day.
so cutthroat.
Joe's
too.
gonna become
Also,
the
I'm out of
biggest
shows.
F1
I
fan.
finished White Lotus. I finished Suits LA. I finished
I need to watch both of those.
1923. Freaking unreal wrap to the series. It ends after season 2. Sheridan's already put it out there. He said there will be no third season of 1923.
I have a long few
Buttoned
weeks
it up.
ahead of me.
It is the best of the. This is what my official.
Best of the Sheridans.
It's the best of the Western Yellowstone world. It is perfect. It is a perfect series, 2 seasons long. For anybody that hasn't watched 1923, Harrison Ford kills it. Helen Mirren kills it. Just freaking perfect ending as well.
So Drive to Survive is a game changer.
Oh my God, I'll watch it. Okay.
Documentaries in the same way you can.
Oh my God,
wax poetic about 1923.
Yeah, it's Ready Player One, the best movie I've ever seen. Okay.
No, dude, I'm just telling you, Drive to Survive. Actually, because of Drive to Survive, I've watched Full Swing. I've watched the tennis one.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, they like Drive to Survive spawns a lot of those.
I will watch
and
15 minutes and give you my review next.
You're gonna become the biggest F1 fan. I can't wait.
Yeah.
When
Dude,
I
that's
start
what's up,
driving
man.
my minivan with racing gloves, we can have this conversation.
That just sounds like 1994, Joe. At this point,
My all I can say is my kids now know who.
We gotta poop, man. We gotta end the show.
Lando Norris and Max Verstappen are. So
all right, we're almost at the 2-hour mark. Let's push it. Push it.
Is over. This is over. I am pushing it. This is it. It's over. DTC, thank you for hanging out with us. This was the off-season movie club and an entire hour podcast before it. Thank you for hanging out with us. Until next week, we are out.